Have you ever considered the historical significance of Bangladesh for the rest of the world? Located on the eastern end of India and bordering Myanmar, this nation has faced neglect from much of the globe and continuous political upheaval. Recently, it made headlines for violence and external influences on its domestic politics. Surrounded by a stable democratic India on most sides and connected to Myanmar in the east, Bangladesh is known for its river-flooded plains, irrigated by the Padma, or Ganges, Jamuna, or Brahmaputra, and Meghna rivers. About 80% of the land is low-lying fertile plains less than 10 meters above sea level, with rich, silty soil deposited by annual monsoon floods. Historically, a well-fed society thrived here with surplus agricultural produce for export. The country also has uplands and low-lying hills, about 20% of the area, and receives heavy monsoon rains, making it one of the world's largest tea producers, a legacy of British colonial rule. The region of Bangladesh faces challenges due to the shifting river channels, creation and destruction of river islands, called chars, frequent cyclones, floods, and other natural disasters. It is home to wetlands like Rathargal Swamp and Bujurban, and the Sundarbans mangrove forest, which not only support diverse ecosystems but also contribute to the spread of diseases like malaria. The fertile lands, coupled with natural calamities and diseases, create a fertile ground for religious leaders to gain influence. The society, facing these challenges, turns to religion, leading to the flourishing of different faiths over the centuries, from Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism to Islam during the Mughal rule over India. The region has a history of religious diversity and conflicts, along with social divisions, that has shaped its religious landscape. Historical records depict the conflict between the Mughals and rulers of Myanmar. Chattogram became part of Bangladesh through a treaty between the Mughals and the rulers of Myanmar. The Mughals were unable to expand beyond Chattogram, limiting the spread of Islam in Asia. While there are Islamic nations like Indonesia and Malaysia in Asia, Islam spread there primarily through trade with West Asia rather than through religious patronage by rulers. During British rule in India, Bangladesh was governed from Calcutta, now Kolkata, and included Myanmar, and this was maintained as such until 1937. The British created their first post in lands around Bangladesh because it was amongst the richest regions and promising from a conquest perspective. The British supported Christian missionaries, focusing on converting tribal populations who resisted the rule of urban elites and engaged in looting. The conversion of tribes was aimed at securing traders and promoting agriculture, particularly tea cultivation, to boost trade. These tribes, mainly in northeastern India, practiced distinct religious beliefs separate from Buddhism, Islam, or Hinduism. Bangladesh was a key trading hub in the region, connecting India to China and Southeast Asia through a sunny, low-lying route that was open year-round. It played a significant role in exporting Hinduism and Buddhism to China and Southeast Asia. Despite not directly ruling Myanmar, Bangladesh had a strong influence on the region due to its fertile lands. Trade with China and Southeast Asia brought wealth to Bangladesh. Land routes were the primary mode of trade in history, as sea routes were not commonly used until later. Trade caravans faced challenges such as diseases, rough weather, and looting, but the trade was still profitable. When land routes became too risky, trade shifted to sea voyages, especially with the introduction of steamships by the British. This trade also facilitated the exchange of ideas and religions, leading to the spread of Hinduism and Buddhism throughout Asia. Bangladesh was a crucial stop on the trade route for exporting goods such as spices, pepper, cloves, khand, or sugar, opium, cotton, muslin, indigo, precious stones, ivory, medicinal herbs, artworks, and jute to China and Southeast Asia. In return, they imported teak, bone china, glassware, silk, paper, gunpowder, horses, rubies, jade, copper, tin, and wines. China's population centers at that time were located along the Yangtze and Mekong rivers, with cities like Liangzhou, Jingzhou, Nanjing, Wuhan, and Chongqing. Myanmar's trade centers included Hanlin, Bathano, Sri etc., and Bagan, which supplied teak and rubies. This trade route was profitable for traders and rulers throughout history, with Bangladesh serving as a key trade route and production center for agricultural products. Additionally, goods were also sent to West Asia via land and sea routes under various ruling empires. The advent of British rule led to the increased importance of port cities due to the introduction of large steamships. Trade shifted from land routes to sea lanes, resulting in the growth of ports such as Calcutta, now Kolkata, Chattogram, Yangon, or Rangoon, Bangkok, Phnom Penh, Hong Kong, and Shanghai. These port-based cities expanded in size as traders migrated to these new trading centers. The British expanded their operations to influence regions like Bangladesh, West Bengal, Bihar, and parts of Awadh, Uttar Pradesh. Scale of operations was a focus as the British encouraged the cultivation of indigo by small growers to meet the demands of cloth mills in Manchester, established large sugar mills for processing sugarcane, and distributed opium to Chinese society. The profits from these trades were used for military conquests, leading to British control over India, including present-day Bangladesh and Pakistan, as well as Myanmar. The Chinese also experienced a century of humiliation as European powers defeated them militarily and dominated trade through one-sided treaties, gaining control over Chinese ports. The British introduced modern medicine and efforts to control diseases like malaria in Bangladesh. Improved science and engineering led to the construction of better infrastructure such as roads, bridges, and buildings, facilitated the expansion of cities. Industries processing sugarcane, cotton, and jute, as well as shipbuilding, flourished. The introduction of railways improved connectivity within the Indian subcontinent. The quality of life in cities improved significantly for ordinary people, allowing some to transition from rural to urban living. The British also established modern education institutions, including schools, colleges, and universities, primarily accessible to the affluent. Hospitals were initially set up to serve British soldiers but later extended their services to the elite in society. An administrative and judicial system was implemented to strengthen British control, a legacy that persists in Bangladesh today.
The large scale of trade via steamships created a high demand for packaging material, leading to the growth of jute cultivation in Bangladesh, known as the Golden Fiber. This made Bangladesh the world's largest jute-growing region, supplying not only the British, but also most of Europe. The focus on jute cultivation caused a decline in food production, as it was more profitable for farmers, leading to a dependence on food imports. The jute trade was highly profitable, making Bangladesh more prosperous than West Pakistan at the time of its liberation, with higher revenues and more industrial units. Improved healthcare resulted in lower neonatal deaths, better health, and increased longevity, leading to a population explosion. Despite having less land area, Bangladesh had a larger population than West Pakistan at the time of its independence. The tendency of its population to be influenced by religion and radical leaders still persists, though, even with the spread of knowledge and science, such radicals attribute natural disasters to the work of Satan and other issues to external factors, thus clouding rational thinking amongst groups of people. The decline of Bangladesh as a trade route was accelerated by the introduction of steamships, while the rise of petrochemical technology further impacted the jute industry, as plastics became a cheaper and more efficient alternative for packaging. Improved ship designs for bulk goods and container traffic have reduced the demand for jute. The increasing population has led to smaller farm sizes, putting pressure on agricultural productivity and employment. Food and energy security are major concerns for the country's large population rather than agricultural surplus. The opium trade is banned, and trade routes via neighboring Myanmar is closed due to tensions and resource issues on both sides. Despite effectively managing population growth, Bangladesh struggles to create job opportunities due to a decline in demand for its traditional exports and a lack of diversification in manufacturing. The rise of radicalism has led to the closure of some thriving manufacturing units. Bangladesh is currently facing challenges in finding its place in the global economy, and thus a rise of its mercurial polity. Political leaders collaborate with religious leaders and other influential figures to secure votes, prioritizing their own power over societal progress. They often deflect responsibility by blaming external factors and invoking religious sentiments during crises. Instead of focusing on improving education, agriculture, and industry, they exploit societal divisions to gain support, ultimately hindering development and lowering living standards. It is crucial for individuals to reflect on the true motives behind these actions and consider the impact on their community's well-being. This is Bangladesh in search of relevance.
What do you think about the story? Do you think Bangladesh will find its relevance? Do let us know in comments.